Welcome to Frogfoot Holler, y'all. I'm Michael, my nephew Colton behind the camera. Alrighty, what are we doing? Well, it's 4:30 in the afternoon on Saturday, and we're starting a new project. This will be a several day project, if not several weeks, as far as by the time I finish it out. Well, we have more garden space to open up. We're here in our front field, and we're going to be opening up quite a bit of ground here. And the reason being is because of the fact that my eyes got bigger than my garden was. I got some watermelon seeds, I got some cantaloupe seeds, and I got a different type of melon seeds, and I got some squash, and all that stuff vines out and it takes off running. And when it runs, it runs. And plus the watermelons are, well, the type I got is supposed to get up around 200 pounds, somewhere in that area a piece. So I want to make sure they have plenty of room. All right, so we have actually put in our red post already, marking where the edges of the garden's going to be. We got garden space that's going to be opened on this side of the fig trees, garden space that's going to be opened up on the other side of the fig trees. And well, it's a little too late to open it all up and do it the right way. So what we're going to do today is the initial outline. Well, let's get hopping on it, y'all. We got the outline done, and as you can see, it's a pretty good amount of distance. Now, me and my nephew stepped it off, so it ain't been measured other than just a rough estimate. But by adding these two garden beds right here, we're looking at about an extra 5,500 square foot of garden space this year. So total square footage of garden's going to be somewhere around 7,000 square feet this year. It might be a little bit big, especially with a tiller. Oh well, we're still doing it, y'all. All right, so I wanted to show y'all the difference between soils from one spot to another spot. Now, take this right here. This soil right here, you can see, is extremely sandy. And if you squish it, it barely holds together. The only reason why I think it held together right there is just because of the grass that's in it. But you squish it, bounce it a little bit, just falls right on apart. So this soil right here is very sandy. Now I'm gonna grab a sample again. Now come look at this soil on this other garden space. Now this ain't but about maybe 30 feet away from that garden, not even that distance. So look at this soil. This soil has more clay in it. See how well that holds together? It holds moisture a lot better. It don't break apart hardly. Now it is sandy, don't get me wrong with that, it is sandy, but look at the difference between colors too, y'all. This is a much darker soil. The sand makes this a lot lighter. So this side right here will hold water better than the other side. And that's something that I'm going to have to take note with when I do my planting. Now, if I actually spread this out, I have 3 different soil zones in this front field. The further I go that way, the sandier it gets. The further I go in the other direction, the more clay and more wet it gets. In fact, there's an area of the ground over there that stays wet just about all year because, well, the water level's close to the top right there. Now, that's one of those things when I say you have to know your ground and know what you're planting in, because there's certain plants that will not do well in sandy soils and certain plants that thrive in sandy soils. Like field peas, love sandy soils. Cantaloupes, watermelons, well, cantaloupes do well in sandy soils, but they still need the nutrients. And watermelons Well, they can thrive in sandy soils, but you got to keep the water on them. And that's what I'm gonna have to do this year, because this is where I'm gonna put my watermelons too. So all my melons and some of my squash, my pink banana squash, which runs like crazy, they're gonna be down here. And I might move a couple of other plants down here, but I ain't made up my mind. I just know this is gonna be my majority vine running plants down here. So melons for sure right now. Alrighty, so let's move on to something else. Alright, so we're out at the garden right now, and as you can see, I've been doing some watering. Now, I've covered this before on one of my other videos, but this is a Miracle Grow, basically fertilizer, water, all at the same time. You put the Miracle Grow in here, and then as you pull the trigger, water comes down in here, mixes with the Miracle Grow, and once this tub gets all the way full of water, it starts coming out the end. And the one thing I like about this thing is you can get out pretty decently with it, as you can see, and water, or you can water close by real light if you want to, just by how much pressure you put on that trigger. Plus, it's got different little settings that you can spray flat, and you have a little jet setting to get the Timbuktu over there. But this thing works out real good when you're wanting to just give your plants an extra little boost. Now, I've given my onions that extra little boost. I've given my lettuce and spinach and beets that just planted a few days ago that extra boost. Now, I'm not wanting to put fertilizer heavy down on them because of the fact that they're close together and I don't want to burn the roots. Now, collards. These things right here. Most people like collards. You either love them or hate them. I love them. I want to show you something about the collards here down in the south. It's March and this thing is starting to flower out. You see that? And that's how you pretty much know when your season's done with them. Now, I'm gonna cut this flower out about right here. I wanna make sure I try to get down a little bit lower. But as you can see, those right there are the flowers, and that's where the seeds will eventually come from. But now I could have cut the flower head off right there, just right below it, but I wanted to make sure I got as much of the flowering as I can. And as soon as we get ready to pick either all these or we have more that are starting to flower, we'll just pull them all up. Now these are my Bonnie's best choice, and I'm not wanting to save any seeds off these. However, these are my Morris heading collards. These are heirloom collared, and I want to save seeds off of them. So I'm going to be pulling up probably all but maybe 4 of these and let them go to seeds. So that way I'll be able to save seeds off of them. So it'll take a while, but I'll get them. But this right here, this flowering part, is how I know my collard season's coming to the end. Because once these greens like this get that nice warm sun during the day, they can bolt fast. And for a lot of people that don't know what bolt means, it means go to flowering. So I don't want seeds from these, and I want seeds from these. So I'm gonna let this grow on these and get rid of these before they go too far this way. All right, let me show you something. We have our potatoes, and they are not coming up yet. Am I worried? It's a stress that's on me, but I know it can take almost up to a month for them to come up. It depends on the soil temperatures. So they still have plenty of time before I start really worrying. But I wanted to show you this to also let you know something. I found something out last night. Now, Deep South Homestead, Danny and Wanda have a live every Saturday night, and something was brought up about potatoes during that live event they had. And well, I didn't know it, my mama didn't know it, my aunt didn't know it, I was never taught it by anybody, and it's something that I found out a lot of people probably don't know. Well, here's the thing, you know you can have determinate and indeterminate tomatoes? Well, did you know you can have determinate and indeterminate potatoes? I didn't know that. I've always been taught one way of doing things as far as the potatoes go, not thinking if you could have determinate, which means they're only going to grow a certain way, and indeterminate, which means they're going to grow multiple potatoes. Now, the potatoes I have, I believe, are Norland red potatoes. And come to find out, those are determinate potatoes, not tomatoes, y'all, potatoes. And, well, the healing process that I had planned for them won't work. Well, it will work, but it will not work the way I wanted it to. And what I was going to do was, as the plant comes up, I was going to spread more dirt over the top of them so I'd have more potatoes. Man, I'm saying tomato, all that kind of stuff. That's getting me confused, y'all. Forgive me. But a determinate potato only grows basically one layer of potatoes. So you have the initial seed potato, and then you have that one layer of potatoes that grows on top, and that's it. No more. Your indeterminate has that layer, and then as you put more dirt on it, you have another layer. You put more dirt on it, has another layer. So, well, Norland red potatoes are determinate. So I'm not going to get the yield I was hoping I was going to get out of them, but I'm still, hopefully, Lord willing, the creek don't rise, get plenty out of them. So it's a learning curve. And I tell you, listening to Danny talk about gardening and what he does and everything, I think he said he's got something around 50 years of experience. He is what I would consider college level professor teaching everybody, and I'm out there in middle school still trying to wonder if I can play on the monkey bars or not. So I know quite a bit from my time gardening, but I don't know everything. Nobody knows everything, and I'm always learning new things. So who else is with me? Did you know that there is determinate and indeterminate potatoes? Because I sure didn't. All right, guys, I got some good news for you. C's time in the cage of shame is up. Now, we're going to be moving her tonight, which is Sunday night, back in with the other two. They're going straight to the coop. And, well, we'll be watching her for the next week and making sure she has learned her lesson, and if she is a smart bird, she will have. But, never know. Right now, I think she's looking for bugs. All right, guys, this has been Michael with Frogfoot Holler. Y'all have a froggy day.